What's up, YouTube family? I um I have to be honest with you. Well, my previous videos were not lies, but I feel like I need to be more honest with you. Although I thought that my previous videos would be a great help, I thought that I could help a lot of people through my experiences, but it wasn't what I was supposed to do, or it wasn't a part of my purpose. And now I'm going to do it right. I'm going to rectify my actions, and I'm going to be me. I'm going to be as honest as I can. I am going to share information with you that is very sensitive to myself, but I know that I'm not the only person on the planet that has gone through this. So I'm going to just go into it. Um, for those people who are in the LGBTQ community, have you, well, yeah, have you ever, like, you was raised in church or whatever, and it's like you love God, right? And you know, you you want a relationship with God and all of that. You know who God is, and but people in the church, you know, they shun you. You can't be yourself, or they only use you for your talents. They condemn you to hell. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just treat you like they treat you as if you as the person is the abomination. It really, it really does put a damper on your views of church, and sometimes it can affect your views on God. And we have to understand that the humans, people, their actions and their heart is very different from how God is, God's thoughts, God's ways. In the Bible, it talks about God's ways. In Proverbs, God's ways are not our ways. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. So we can't go by that. To go a little deeper, I was born and raised in church. My grandfather was the pastor of the church that I was raised in. My father was a minister in the church. My parents were married for, I think, 12 years, and after that, um, they divorced. And sometime later, my mother became a Jehovah's Witness. So it wasn't like I did not know about the Bible at all. But at the same time, it did not stop me from desiring being with a woman, mm, or a girl, because I wasn't a woman when I was a kid. Um, I was always around the same sex, and I felt like I could relate to the same sex. wasn't really around the opposite sex much. I didn't know much about the opposite sex. The only um, interaction I had was with my father and Sunday school, or like in either at church or the Kingdom Hall with my mom. I didn't really have a whole lot of interaction with men, um, but I grew to be attracted to females, and I didn't talk about it because when you grow up in church or religious establishments, you don't talk about stuff like that because you know that you some people believe that they're gonna douse you in anointing oil and pray it out of you, rebuke it out of you, and all of these things, and you don't want to go through all that. So some people are, either they snuck and did it. People, I don't know how you handled it. For me, it came out in different ways, and it I had to I don't want to say censor myself, but I had to, my actions would out me before before I even realized it. Um, so it was like there were signs prior to me realizing and knowing that the attraction was there, but I didn't recognize it, or I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't talk about it because you know you are taught it's an abomination, so you better not, you know. And a lot of times you you get told you gotta pray it away, ask God and He's gonna deliver you. It's not of God and all of these things, right? But one thing I've learned over the years is that, and even from personal experience, a lot of people in the LGBT community have prayed it away, have asked God to deliver them countless times, right? And it doesn't happen. So then what? I know I asked God. I asked God many times. And the answer was no, or not yet. So then what do you do? What do you do when the answer is no or not yet? Um, I, because of the feelings I had for the same sex, and even though I had feelings for the same sex, I love God. I love God tremendously. If you were to meet me, depending on which time period you knew me, I had a very deep love for God. Very, very deep love for God. I really, really love God. I wanted to please Him. And, honey, I would pray for any and everything. Like, I was that person who, if I saw a three-legged dog limping, I would pray for that dog. Or if I saw somebody in a wheelchair with only one arm or one leg, I'm sorry, I would pray for that person. If I saw something that wasn't the norm, I would pray for that person. That was just me, because in my mind, they needed prayer. And they could be fine. They could be as happy as they want to be. They are, they don't, they're good. But in my mind, something isn't right. I got to pray for them. That was just me. That's just who I was and who I am. So, I had so much love for God. And so, in my mind, if you have so much love for God and you try to, do what's right, of course, if you ask God to deliver you, it's going to happen, right? No, that's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's testimony. That's, you know, that's not everybody's situation. If that is you, congratulations. Um, that wasn't my case. Um, excuse that noise notification. I'm not gonna re-record this because it's good the way it is. So I ran, even though I love God and I had feelings for the same sex. It made me run because I was so conflicted. I did not know what to do. And on one hand, it's like I love God so much, and then on the other hand, I wanted, when I got older, I wanted a woman so bad. And the desires for both were great. They were big. And for me personally, in my situation, I could not do both. Um, because for me, I go to the extreme. I do one or the other. Balance is not something that I handle well. I have a hard time with balance. And because of my feelings for women, it was affecting my relationship with God. Um, and just even with that whole thing, my relationship with God was crazy, because sometimes I would be mad because I asked God, to deliver me, and He didn't. So I would be upset about that. It's like, God, you see me struggling. Like you see me struggling. Like in your word it says how that you feel like this is an abomination or whatever, but you see me struggling. Like what's up? Like what's the deal? Like why would you just look at this and just watch me struggle? Like I didn't feel like that was fair, and I know that. And there's a lot of people who feel like, not just with their sexuality, with anything, um, any struggle, it's easy to look at God and blame God. Like, God, you can change this, like, why can't you just, change it? But one thing I did realize, that everything that we go through, um, it's either to make us stronger, or there's a lesson. There's always a reason, or it could just honestly be life. That's just how it is. Life is going to happen regardless, whether we want it to or not. As long as we're living, life is going to happen. So, going back to me running, I ran because I felt so, ugh, I felt so, and it's like I wanted to go to church, but I felt like if I went to church, and anybody who had a close relationship with God or had the gift of discernment, like they knew instantly, that I like women, and I would just be thrown out of the church, you know. But that wasn't the case, but you could not convince me otherwise. Um, so I will continue this in another video. Like I said, I'm going to start being real with you, and the as the videos continue, you'll see why I am creating these videos. Until next time, be kind to yourself. There's only one you.